What is sleep? Cambridge University defines it as the resting state in which the body is not active and the mind is unconscious. During this resting state, the brain processes information taken in during the day, storing the important stuff away in our little brain cabinets. During this time, your brain takes the time to do some house cleaning, clearing away toxin byproducts that would otherwise pile up. So how much sleep do we need? Newborns need up to 14 to 17 hours each day. Infants and toddlers need between 11 and 15 hours each day. Children ages 6 to 13 need between 9 to 11 hours each day. Teenagers 14 to 17 need at least 8 to 10 hours. Adults 26 to 64 ranges lower than teens, 7 to 9 hours a day. Older adults 65 and older need 7 to 8 hours each day. Sleep disorders happen in every age group, to infants, teens, and the elderly. But today we're focusing on teens because of the rising epidemic of teen sleep deprivation. According to the National Sleep Foundation, teens need about 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night to function at their best. But most teens do not get enough sleep. One study found that only 15% reported sleeping 8.5 hours on school nights. One study presented suggests that getting 30 fewer minutes sleep than you should per weekday can increase your risk of obesity and diabetes. So imagine losing hours. So why aren't teens getting enough sleep? For one thing, they're staying up late. Especially for school, factors include procrastinating on homework. Students who reported heavy loads of homework were significantly more likely to be sleep deprived, particularly if the homework load has increased significantly from ages 12 to 15. Moreover, students who use computers frequently on school nights were more likely to have a shorter sleep time. Teenagers who start school before 8:30 a.m. are at higher risk of depression and anxiety, even if they're doing everything else right to get a good night's sleep. The typical start time for most high schools is 7 a.m., which can exacerbate this problem even further. These things not only affect the student's sleep schedule, but carries on the sleep tiredness and lack of energy at school. Kids who send text messages or use the internet right before bed may suffer poor sleep at night, as well as mood and cognitive problems during the day. Text messaging and other electronic communication media were linked to excessive movement during sleep, insomnia, and leg pain at night in students ages 8 to 22. Why? That glow from electronic delays the release of sleep-inducing hormone melatonin, making it harder for our teens to get quality sleep. Key findings of a survey include the fact that around 76% of teens use Instagram, 75% use Snapchat, 66% use Facebook, 47% use Twitter, and fewer than 30% use Tumblr, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Many studies has observed that more time spent on social media is associated with an increased risk of loneliness and depression. And depression is directly linked to sleep problems, including lack of sleep. When a teen is sleep deprived, it increases their chance of becoming obese. Obesity is very serious and can cause hypertension, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even bone and joint disease. So, how does sleep deprivation become a greater risk for obesity? The more sleep deprived you are, the higher your levels of the stress hormone cortisol, which increases your appetite. When you're stressed, your body tries to produce serotonin to calm you down. The easiest way to do that is by eating high-fat, high-carb foods that produce neurochemical reaction. Now imagine if your body is constantly sleep deprived. Since sleep deprivation has increased, so has the rates of depression across the U.S. 2014 statistics from the National Institute of Mental Health show the following numbers for teens that had at least one major 2014 statistics from the National Institute of Mental Health show the following numbers for teens that had at least one major depression episode in the previous 12 months. Symptoms of depression include helplessness, guilt, anger, withdrawal from friends, and symptoms of depression include helplessness, guilt, anger, withdrawal from friends and family, and lower concentration. Thoughts of death, change of appetite, loss of energy, sleep problems, and alcohol and drug abuse. All being serious issues our teens should not have to deal with. So, how can you avoid sleep deprivation? These are tips on how to avoid. So, how can you avoid sleep deprivation? Here are some tips. Power down electronics before going to bed. Stick to a sleep schedule. Practice relaxing bedtime rituals. Exercise daily and avoid caffeine. If you keep these tips in mind, I can assure you, you will get better sleep. Thank you, and remember to take care of yourself.